When I was 5, a rare spark of generosity flickered from my father's parents, Rupert and Clara. Word had reached them through letters, or perhaps a relative's visit that their son was quietly saving, eyeing a small plot of land somewhere in Kingston to build a proper home for his young family. The thought of my father finally putting down roots, independent and secure, must have stirred something in them, or perhaps they had some other hidden motives. One evening, after a long day on the construction site, my father came home to find a letter waiting postmarked from England but forwarded through family. Rupert and Clara, still abroad but planning their eventual return, had written, "Don't waste your money buying land, son. Build on the family property. It's yours to use." The words leaped off the page like a promise long overdue. My father read it aloud to my mother in their cramped one-bedroom, his voice cracking with disbelief and joy. For the first time in his life, it felt like his parents were seeing him not as the forgotten child left behind, but as a man worthy of investment. They wasted no time. They doubled down on their frugality. My mother took extra shifts scrubbing floors in big houses uptown and selling more fish at the market. My father picked up overtime hauling blocks and mixing mortar whenever a job allowed. Every spare shilling went into a small tin hidden under the bed. Cement money, block money, steel money. They sketched plans on scraps of paper late at nights. A simple 2-bedroom concrete dwelling, sturdy against hurricanes, with a zinc roof, louvered windows for breeze, and enough space for me to run without bumping into tenants. Construction began to the back of the family land, away from the main house but still within the same yard compound. My father did most of the work himself on weekends and evenings, his laborer's hands now shaping his own future. He dug the foundation trenches by hand, poured the concrete footings, laid the blocks row by row, mixing mortar in a wheelbarrow, checking levels with a string and spirit level borrowed from a foreman. My mother helped where she could, carrying water, passing tools, even laying some blocks herself when her hands weren't too sore from work. My father's friends sometimes pitched in for a day mixing batches or holding rebar drawn by the side of a man building, his dream from sweat and hope. The house rose slowly but surely, gray concrete walls climbing higher each month, the skeleton of roof trusses going up, then sheets of zinc nailed down with a satisfying clang. Inside, they planned 2 modest bedrooms, one for me, one for them, and a combined living kitchen area. 1 bathroom. No fancy finishes, just solid, honest construction that would stand. Me, at 5, toddled around the site, playing in the sand piles and helping by handing my father small stones, my tiny footprints forever pressed into the fresh mortar in spots. The process was grueling but filled with quiet triumph. My father often said later that those months were the closest he ever felt to forgiveness for the childhood neglect, for the locked doors, for the indifference. Building that house became his way of rewriting the story, proving he could provide, protect, and belong. The yard itself remained a shared space tenants in the older buildings, clotheslines overhead, but now, at last, there was a corner that was truly ours. For a brief, shining time, our family had a home that felt permanent, earned through my parents' hands. Of course, as the years would show, that permission carried hidden strings, and the dream would be cruelly reclaimed. But in those building days, my father's heart swelled with something he had rarely known: hope. The 2-bedroom concrete dwelling stood as proof that persistence could turn pain into walls, sacrifice into shelter, and a father's quiet determination into a legacy for his child. The real blow came when I was about 9. Rupert and Clara returned from England, drawn back by retirement and family ties. They reclaimed the entire property, including the house my father had painstakingly built with his own hands and saved wages. They declared the land and house theirs alone, giving him no compensation, no warning, only the cold instruction to leave. The betrayal cut deep after years of being overlooked as a child, now this final erasure of his efforts as a man. My parents had no choice but to move again, finding another cramped room elsewhere in the city, starting over once more.
Want more stories? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and TikTok, like and share our videos. Thank you for watching.